Welcome again, everybody. To echo Navneet's remarks and on behalf of the South Asian Coalition, thank you again to Representatives Jayapal and Meng and their staff for collaborating with us and for your steadfast and clear-eyed leadership in this moment, especially in this moment. My name is Rajiv Narayan, and I am a co-lead of ASATA-Power, one of the co-sponsors of today's briefing. We are an all-volunteer grassroots collective in the San Francisco Bay Area that organizes the South Asian community to build political power and to hold institutions accountable. It is my pleasure to moderate today's briefing. One quick housekeeping note though, for the staffers in the room, we would love to keep in touch with you. We would love to keep your offices, your principals informed, and to facilitate that, please use the sign-in sheet to provide us your contact information. It's in the back at the table. This morning, we are going to hear from members of the South Asian Coalition about areas of immigration policy that include the following. First, the impact of immigration enforcement on South Asians, including those who are undocumented and those who have special status. Second, the ways in which South Asian immigrant workers are being affected. And third, broader implications for community safety for immigrant and diasporic communities in today's polarized climate. Now, if that sounds like a lot of topics, a broad set of topics, and if this looks like a lot of speakers, let me just say at the top, your ears and your eyes do not deceive you, but this is intentional. Our speakers represent the diversity of the South Asian Coalition and truly the diversity and the nuances of the South Asian community in the United States. And their remarks will represent the intersection of immigration, not only with different policy areas, but with different communities in the United States. We'll be talking about South Asians, but obviously this is not just about South Asians. So to start, I would like to share some figures from ASATA-Power's recent report, which again, a plug for the table at the front, Undocumented South Asians Under Attack. We have documents from a number of our organizations, and I invite folks to take the material with them as they leave today if you haven't already got them. So, in the United States, there are roughly 6.5 million people of South Asian descent. That's everyone. Folks who have birthright citizenship, folks who have been naturalized, immigrants seeking citizenship, people who are undocumented, refugees, asylees, and so on. 6.5 million South Asian Americans. As Representative Jayapal said, 800,000 to 900,000 of this group are undocumented. So what that means is that 1 in 8 South Asians are undocumented in the United States. We should sit with that for a moment. As a group, people of Indian descent in the United States comprise the 3rd largest undocumented group. Pakistanis and Indians, to shift to another topic, are among the top 10 recipients of H-1B worker visas, and many South Asians, many, are recipients of DACA benefits, asylum, and temporary protected status. We're going to be hearing today about the impact of immigration policies on community members, and to that end, I want to draw your attention to the slides behind me. They'll show a couple of images of South Asian community members who've been impacted recently by the horrific policies and practices of the federal administration. These members include Shiraz Fatehali Sajwani, a 48-year-old citizen of Pakistan who died in ICE detention last December. They include 73-year-old Harjeet Kaur, who was arrested during a routine ICE check-in, separated from her family, and deported to India without notice. I should say, I grew up seeing Harjeet Kaur behind the counter at Sari Palace in Berkeley. She helped my mom try on saris. Her home was here. Her community was here. Also pictured is Chicago area resident, business owner, and father of 5, 63-year-old Asif Amin Hima, who was deported on New Year's Day after being denied medical care for months. Even U.S. citizens of South Asian descent are facing due process violations. So Minneapolis resident and Bangladeshi American Alia Rahman was violently arrested by masked ICE agents and held for hours without medical care or access to a lawyer. These are just some of the names and stories of community members who have been affected by immigration policy as of late, and we hope that you will keep them in mind as you hear from our speakers today. There are many more we were not able to picture or name, but their stories are just as important. We'll be making many asks over the course of today's briefing. Some of those include the following. Congress should not increase funding for ICE or Border Patrol. including providing funds for detention facilities, especially in this funding moment, we have to remember that ICE is not a long-standing American institution. It was created in 2002 recently as part of the Homeland Security Act following 9/11. Congress should increase oversight and conduct investigations into the use of profiling, violations of due process, and barriers to access to legal representation. Congress should end family and child detention, which is separating families and subjecting young children to abhorrent conditions. Congress should pass legislation like the Dignity for Detained Immigrants Act, H.R. 6397, introduced by our very own Representative Jayapal, to create basic humane safeguards around immigration detention. And Congress should fund community-based organizations, the likes of which you will hear from today, that support undocumented individuals in need and protect them from frivolous targeting by federal authorities. I'm heartened to that extent by the remarks of Representative Meng about some of the victories we have had in funding our community-based organizations. So we hope that today's briefing can offer a window into what our communities are facing across the country and why our calls to action are critical for the safety and well-being of, again, not only South Asian communities, but all immigrant communities in the United States.